Hey, what's up guys? It's Luke, and you're watching Luke the Gathering. Thanks for checking out the channel. Today, I went to my local game store, and we were playing Brothers War Draft for Friday Night Magic. Last week, I had an important event, so I skipped out on the draft, but I was back this week, and it was a ton of fun. I brought my trusty sleeves. Shout out to Dragon Shield. I know, I'm the only idiot that would do this, but they caused quite a stir at the store, if I don't say so myself. And then at the end, as always, we'll crack this promo pack and see what we get in it. Hopefully a cool rare from the set. As always, I'm going to share with you what I drafted and my thoughts on some of the cards. You know, on Arena, I love drafting Selesnya white and green, but, you know, sometimes you just have to do what the cards you get dictate you to do when you're drafting in real life. And I went Rakdos, black and red, which is, I think, a pretty decent archetype in Brothers War draft, but I do have to say that I am not the best at playing Rakdos. I also feel a little, how should I say it? I feel like a little bit timid when I play it, or shaky when I play it, because it's a very sacrificed themed thing, and I feel like if I'm missing pieces, it's not going to work. But thankfully for me today, it did work really well. I went 2-1, so 3 games, 3 matches, and I won 2 of those. That was really great, and so I did well with the deck. The only deck that I lost to was a little bit of a slower deck, where they were able to get their bigger creatures out, and my smaller aggro creatures just couldn't get all the way through, and so I did lose those games, which was fine. Can't expect to go 3-0 all the time, right? For sure. So, but it was a ton of fun, and let's just check out the deck, share with you what I drafted and why, and we'll take a look at the cards. All right, let's go ahead and check out the deck. We're going to start off with the Trench Stalker. Not the best for an aggro deck, because it's better for like the blue-black drawing more than one card a turn deck, because it says as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn. Trench Stalker has Death Touch and Lifelink, which is, you know, a great duo of abilities on a 4/5 body, but this was sort of my top end in terms of creatures in the deck. One of the signposts for the deck is the Junkyard Genius. Really cool card. When he comes into play, you get a Power Stone. That's awesome. And then you can even sacrifice that or another creature. Till end of turn, all your creatures gain haste and menace. And that can really be great. You get a big wide board and then just go to town with this +1 and menace. That makes it really tough. Plus some of the other creatures have other bonuses, so they're going to be even tougher to avoid all this big damage. However, people sort of know about Junkyard Genius, and so when they saw him, he would get exiled or removed or whatever. So this guy has a huge target on his back. This is a rare, the Razorlash Transmogrant. Can't block. It's a 3/1, and you can keep recurring it. However, it costs 6 to recur, so that's really expensive. I wish it had haste. I think it'd make it so much better. But as it is, you know, it has to just sit there for a minute, and then when it, you know, gets to attack, then it gets to go in as a 3/1 for 2, which is okay, but I feel like there are, you know, uncommons that are sort of on this level. I think the rare part is that it can come back with a +1/+1 counter, but it's not a very good rare, in my opinion. But decent for an aggro deck, that's for sure. Moment of Defiance, this is cool. Boost your creatures +2/+1, and they get lifelink. You also get a draw card. I think this is important because a lot of times you run out of gas in one of these aggro decks, which means, like, you know, you play all the cards in your hand and you're just, you know, top decking every single time, and that's not a good feeling. So Moment of Defiance kind of helps that, lets you draw the card. That's pretty cool. I got 2 of these. I thought that these were really important. They turned out to be pretty key cards. They also helped me win combat, where my guy wouldn't die and theirs would die. Keeping your creature count up is super important. Killzone Acrobat is nice. I like this card a lot because you can sacrifice another creature, and then This thing gets flying, and then it's also a sacrifice trigger, which is a huge part of this deck, sacrificing for value or for boosts or anything like that. And so that was great. Emergency Weld, pretty important card. You get a card back into your hand, and then you also get a 1/1 soldier artifact that you can sacrifice for whatever you need to. Oh my gosh, I drafted so many disfigures. I think 4 total. And he ended up playing, I think, just one in the deck, because I found that a lot of, the harder decks for me to beat, they're not going to have 2 toughness. They're going to have more than that. And so this ended up being a card that wasn't really the best, but it worked when it did, so it's fine. Power Stone Fracture is great, though. This is nice because you can sacrifice an artifact or creature, and basically destroys whatever target creature or planeswalker you need to. No worry about how tough they are or anything like that. The research desk is a nice sort of card selection, card draw card, where you pay and then you can sacrifice it. Again, that word sacrifice is in there, which is a big deal, because once you start sacrificing things, you get payoffs. And in this case, this helps you get through your deck a little more. Corrupt. This is a cool card. You deal damage to any target equal to the number of swamps you control. So if you have 10 swamps, you play this, you deal 10 damage. It's pretty cool to anything. And I had Elsewhere Flask, so this was a great combo where I could turn all my lands into swamps and just hit them to the face. And in fact, my very first game that I played, I was able to pull off this combo, and it won the game straight away. Clay Revenant is really nice. It's a 1-drop that you can use to sacrifice as a creature and an artifact, and then you can recur it. Really, really cool. Just keeps coming back. You can keep using it for sacrificing. Really nice little card there. Scrapwork Mutt, really cool too. It lets you get through your deck a little bit more, and it unearths. Thraxodemon, I thought was good. It's a little expensive. 3, tap this, sack a creature, and then you get a draw card. But I think in a pinch, this guy worked really well for me. I ended up having 2 of them. It's a nice little 2-drop. Cindermaw here, it has Trample for 3, not bad. Players can't gain life, and that actually came into play because there was a Mind Worker out there in one of the games that I played, and that shut this off till he died. Really great that I got 3 Goblin Blast Runners. I think that was really good to get. These guys won me the game. I mean, these guys are all-stars, especially when you can start sacrificing stuff, and if you get a bunch of them, they'll start doing their thing. The Blitz Automaton, same thing. Pretty good. 3 for a 3/2. I never used it as a 6/4 because I never had 7 mana. But good for that. Astronaut's Harvester. See, this is a 3/1 for 2, and you can unearth it. It's sort of like the rare, except it doesn't come back over and over and over and over and over. And this is in the comments. I guess that one's rare because it is better than this one. But not too much. Gix. Yawgmoth Praetor. Check it out. That was my pack 1 pick 1. Had to get it. Whenever a creature does damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay a life. If they do, they draw a card. So that's pretty sweet, right? So because I had guys with Menace and things like that, I was getting in early. If I had Gix out, I was able to draw more cards. And his other ability, I contemplated using, but it's pretty expensive. It's 7 to use. And on those turns, I'd rather be using the mana to start sacrificing things rather than spending it all on this guy's ability. And this one, Mishra's Command. I have to sigh about this one. The worst thing about this card is that it's a sorcery. If this was an instant, this would be so good. But because of that, I hardly used it. Even when I got into my hand, I was like, I can't really use this because they're going to see it coming, and it's just going to be useless. But it lets you choose 2 things, usually killing a creature, but boosting your own creature. But otherwise, not that great of a card. I probably should have just subbed it out. Anyways, it's time to check out the Brothers War promo pack. Let's see if we get anything nice in here. We get Soul Partition, This was used against me. It exiles non-land permanent, but you can play it again. Just pay 2 more. So I don't know how great that is. Corrupt. Hey, this is a cool card. Yeah, this is great. This would be great in any kind of commander deck that that's like mono black. And then we got a getaway car. All right. There you have it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate it. I'll see you next time.